Item Number SCP-004 Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. When handling items SCP-004-2 through SCP-004-13, proper procedure is vital. The items are not permitted to be moved off-site unless accompanied by two Level 4 security personnel. Under no circumstances should any other component of SCP-004 be taken through SCP-00-1. The effects of doing so are as yet unknown, and the current cost of experimentation makes further research impractical. Should any of the objects contained within SCP-004-1 breach containment, or the facility be breached, the keys must be brought inside and the door closed prior to evacuation of Site-62's on-site warhead. Unauthorized removal of keys from the testing area is grounds for immediate termination. Level 1 clearance is required for basic access to SCP-004-1. Level 4 clearance is required to use for SCP-004-2 to SCP-004-13. Description: SCP-004 consists of an old wooden barn door, SCP-004-1, and a set of 12 rusted steel keys, SCP-004-2 through SCP-004-13. The door itself is the entrance to an abandoned factory in DNA expunged. Chronological history: 07-02-1949. A group of 3 juveniles trespassing on federal property near find at the door according to their testimony. They found a set of rusted keys in an iron lockbox and determined what door the keys unlock. The juveniles are taken into custody after they contact sheriff when one of their friends, SCP-004-Case-01, goes missing. 07-03-1949. Local authorities find the severe right hand of SCP-004-Case-01 8 kilometers from SCP-004-1. Other parts of SCP-004-Case-1's body are found scattered as far as 32 kilometers from the factory. Under interrogation, the apprehended juveniles tell authorities that upon opening the door with one of the keys, SCP-004-Case-01 was torn into several pieces, each of which disappeared. At this point, the SCP Foundation takes over the investigation. 07-04-1949. SCP agent obtains the key from local authorities and begins testing. Tests show that SCP-004-2 through SCP-004-13 all fit into the single lock in the large barred door. 12 Class D personnel are assigned to test the effects of the door. Of the 12 test subjects, each trying to make different keys enter the room, only 2 survive. Opening the door with any key except SCP-004-7 or SCP-004-12 caused the test subjects to be torn apart in multiple directions. However, no dismembered parts were found until later. At the time of writing, only 2 parts of each subject have been recovered, with an exception of the subject using SCP-004-. Those pieces were scattered into close proximity. The others have, for all intents and purposes, vanished from existence. Of the 2 surviving subjects, only one, having used SCP-004-7, returned unharmed. The other came back in a near catatonic state, able only to remove himself from the room, and when collapsed onto the floor, had to be restrained to prevent him from gouging out his eyes. See Appendix A, mental health effects of SCP-004. The subject using SCP-004-7 said that he had entered a large room, impossibly big for the size of the attached building. After his exit, SCP-004-1 was propped open and an armed squad of Level 3 personnel entered. The size of the room is impossible to measure, and the door frame and the individuals in the room are the only part of the room that can be felt or illuminated. 07-16-1949. All juvenile suspects and sheriff are terminated. 08-02-1949 is declared a hazardous area due to the unexplored ordnance, and fences erected in order to prevent civilian ingress. Tests are determining safety to exposure to environment behind SCP-004-1 begin. 12/01/1950. Space-time anomalies resulting from exposure to SCP-004 are confirmed. Testing is suspended until further notice. 07-04-19. The unaccounted for remains of SCP-004-Case 01 appear unexpectedly outside SCP-004-1. Despite being killed decades before, the remains of SCP-004-Case 01 are not decomposed in any matter and are still warm to the touch. Blood remains uncatalogued. The remains are remanded for testing. 07-04-19. The unaccounted for remains of one of the 12 original test subjects appear in a similar manner to those of SCP-004-Case 01. The remains have been designated SCP-004-Case 02. Records suggesting that both SCP-004-Case 01 and Case 02 use SCP-004-03-21-1999. With a massive proliferation of nuclear weapons and World War III only years away, construction has begun on the site of SCP-004-1. The site is a stocked supplies for person days. 04-21-1999 has ordered the site inside SCP-004-1 to be expanded to include emergency storage for all mobile SCP specimens and a petabyte database for all the storage of the SCP data. The facility is now referred to as Site 62. 09-25-2000. Site 62 is operational. Labs and containment units are complete and can contain the most dangerous specimens. Backup to the ACP database has begun. 01-25-2001. Due to time anomalies, see space-time anomalies. All personnel working at Site 62 are now required to reside on-site permanently. Families of personnel are to be informed that loved ones perished in an industrial accident. Clone bodies have been prepared for funeral. 08-14-2003. Massive power outage across northeastern United States and through Canada due to the initial failure from multiple SCP generators. Site 62 was without power for 53 minutes. During those 53 minutes, Those on site were completely without any source of light. They reported sensing creatures and people, although no abnormal entities could be seen or felt. Selected facility personnel were allowed to read Appendix A and said the creatures sensed were the humanoid size, but otherwise similar to the massive green creature described.